Welcome to the video guide for Yaldabaoth's Piercing Gale Master, released as part of patch 2.7.0 of Dragalia Lost. Master Yaldabaoth follows a similar pattern to the Lilith series of fights, trading the first Angel phase for an element swap mid-fight. As always though, my name is Xenozilus, and let's get straight to it. The Tome of Creation and Tome of Destruction mechanics are largely unchanged from Expert, though the destruction counter starts at 8 instead of 10. Which makes letting Ed slip through a bit more punishing, especially considering that you don't have a revive. As with other endgame fights, certain mechanics and attacks will be skipped or repeated based on phase progression and remaining hit points. Overall, the fight doesn't change too much. I'll do my best to point out major changes though. During the first half of the fight, Agni's Devastation becomes Flames of Devastation. There's now an extra shot, and Agni leaves burning zones behind with his attacks. Burning deals negligible damage though. Leaving mobs up for extended periods of time becomes a bit more punishing too. In Expert, mobs would get healed and receive small strength and defense buffs of 15%. These are now boosted to 40%, making adds much tankier if left unattended and subsequently undispelled. Master also adds Sacrificial Ceremony. It's similar to Amplification Anthem with its weak points, except they're now all vulnerable at the same time, but placed at 4 different points. Large AoEs take care of this rather handily, however. Once Yaldabaoth reaches 50% hit points, it triggers a team switch, swapping in a wind team. The orb and teleport laser attacks change slightly, with the orbs travelling slower and bouncing off walls in this phase. The orbs and laser also inflict bog, posing a slight challenge to freeze resist characters, but otherwise, there aren't any other major changes to worry about. The most helpful advice I think I can give is going to come down to team compositions, as well as a minor setup recommendation. My recommendations for the flame half of the fight remain unchanged. In a nutshell, Gala Leonidas and Ximeno Alazan speed the fight along very well, and otherwise characters with a mix of AoE and Dispel will handle the first phase just fine. In Wind, a similar team recommendation still applies. Large AoEs and Dispels are king. Gala Not is the equivalent to Leonidas for the Wind roster, bringing Dispels and moderately large AoEs. Other decent Wind units include Gala Ranzel, Gala Leaf, Humanoid Midgard Sommer, and Maribel. I haven't really seen Nino, Grimnir, or Mona used in co-op, but they should be okay for the fight as well. When it comes to healers, both Lowen and Formal Noir are workable. Lowen's slightly more defensive due to his hit point buffs, while Formal Noir helps enable poison afflictions, noting that Yaldabaoth begins with 60% poison resist. And, as mentioned, some setup tips. If you're running with a Not for the second half of the fight, it's possible for Not to avoid the application of the Curse and Nihility entirely if each team member runs Dragon Prep and Not transforms before Nidhogg is summoned. If you keep note of the fact that Curse and Nihility is generally reapplied whenever Ants or Executioner Circles are spawned, you can, with a bit of memorization, time transformations in order to keep buffs. Even without Not, running with Dragon Prep is recommended for the second team to make bursting down Nidhogg and the adds a lot easier. Tip number 2, try and have access to a single Midgard Sommer 0 in the Wind half. Not only does he apply the Wind Res down debuff, but his massive AoE also makes him handy for wiping the screen of adds. Holding transformations for add spawns can make the second half of the fight a breeze, no pun intended. If you have further questions, feel free to leave a comment or pop by my Twitch streams. I stream Wednesdays and Saturdays at 9:30 PM, British Summertime. As always, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you next time.